Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is official Steezie, and I want to bring this up to you guys. I am finishing up this part 2 of the Isometric dungeon map. This is my one-page dungeon that I'm submitting. So I thought, as I'm drawing this, I would show it to you guys as we're going through it. As you probably saw on the title slide, I've already finished it. Now we're going to go back and redo those details that I did. Had this great idea to do it off camera, which was a terrible idea. So we are going to be running through that. You can download this map in the description right now. Go to the description, download this, use it in your games. It's great, love it. And then part 3, we're going to be talking about the different parts of the dungeon itself. So we're going to actually be building out the story of the dungeon. You can do whatever you'd like, but for my purposes, I have to do that anyway. So I thought I would share that with you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into this. Okay, so in the original example that I had, there was a chest in this room right here. And not only was there a chest here, let's do this actually, make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. Not only was there a chest in this room, the door was also barred in the original example. So here, let's do this. So this room right here, there was a chest originally in here. I don't know if I'm going to do that for this example. Originally, my idea was that this door was barred, and there was a mimic. It's barred from this side, and there was a mimic inside here as a chest, and it should have tipped the players off, like, why is the door barred from this side? What are they trying to keep out? But they wouldn't know that it's just a small room. It could open up into a chasm for all they know. So this adventure, this one-shot, this dungeon, if you will, sort of built for levels 1 through 3. I just don't know if a mimic is something I can throw at them. But let me show you how I did that, just so you know. What I did was super simple. This is the most tutorial part of this entire thing. I grabbed one of these chests over here and essentially just copied it onto a new layer, and then I drug it up there and just placed it. Boom. And there was nothing real special about that. The only thing, and then to make sure that the door looked barred, like it was shut on this end, I just grabbed a color similar to like a gray, sort of a darker gray color, something I thought would sort of resemble metal. And then I came in here and just did this like that. And I just came and I just extended it out a little bit, like that right there. And that's pretty obvious, like, okay, there's something up with this. And then I had in my notes, that that the door would be barred, that the players would obviously see that. I feel like at this point, since I've already done it, I'm just going to leave it in. Okay, so let's talk about a few things before we throw some numbers on this sucker and do some final touches. This is the altar for these cultists where they sacrifice things. In the original example, I had some stuff up here on the wall like this, and it had some squigglies and some different stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do that either. The idea behind that was just sort of that of manifesto or something was up here on the wall. I think that it's fine just the way that it is. Also, in my original example, this section was a bookshelf. Right here, you had a bookshelf. Some people looked at that and they said, "Oh, is that supposed to be a wall?" And I was like, "No, it's a bookshelf." And like, well, there's no books on it. And I've decided I'm not going to take the time to draw books. So you're welcome to put one there, but I didn't. So like inside your notes. All right, let's throw some numbers on here. These are the original numbers I had. Boom, like that was super simple. I just threw them right up on there and got 11 things going on. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So there's 11 entries we'll have to have. Let me show you one other thing here that I did. If you guys aren't familiar with this is a great resource. I use it often for lots of stuff. I typed in old paper and I grabbed this image right here. White crumpled paper. And once I grabbed that, I made it fit on here. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's our white crumpled paper. Obviously we want it below everything else. And whoops. So yeah, so that's not, overbearing. That's a little overbearing, but it's not exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to bring the opacity of that down to about 10. Let's see what 10 looks like. You can still sort of see it popping up in there. I think I'd like to be more like a 15. So 15 is where we're going to leave that. And then I copied that layer over on top of itself, drug it up to the top above every other layer, made the overlay, or made the blend type to overlay, and then brought the opacity all the way back up to 100. And what this does is something sort of neat. It sort of gives some wear and tear to everything, and you can actually see it gives some texture to some of our stuff here. So one last thing of detail that we need to do is we need to make the grid not show up in certain places. Okay, one of the things that I did want to talk about that I didn't do in the original and I thought about doing in this one was giving some texture to the altar. I showed that to somebody and they were like, is it a box? Is it steps? They didn't really quite understand what it was, so I thought maybe if we added some texture in here, it may distinguish it from everything else. Altar and wall, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make a new layer underneath it. Okay, so I would like something, maybe, let's just go with this right here. We're going to do the whole solid black thing. And I'm just sort of loosely painting in, because we're not going to keep this. If you can hear my mouse clicking in the background, I don't have a pad. I do all this with my mouse. Which is a great opportunity for me to say, if you want to support me through Patreon, it'll help me buy a pad so I can quit using my mouse, which would be nice. So something simple like that. I brought the opacity down to 50, and just with the paper texture on top of it, it already gives it sort of a stone look and feel. But more than doing just that, I thought I actually may grab this section right here. So what I've done is I highlighted everything I colored in, and then I grabbed that from the paper. That's why it looks all wanky. And we're gonna pull it underneath it, and so this definitely has a stone look to it, in my opinion. I like that a lot. It has a nice marbling to it. Okay, so this is it right here. This is in the description for download. Go ahead and grab it. Check them out. Follow me on Twitter. Support me on Patreon. And all that is in the description. You can check it out there. Leave comments if you have questions. And as always, keep the dice rolling. All right, see you guys later.